I kind of like want to go into like you dealing with.
So the technology, true indeed. So so I went into IT, and as I was going along in the journey, again, like I said, I saw that movie Sneakers, and they were talking about pen testers. Another word they call them nowadays is ethical hackers, red teamers, and that all has to do with cybersecurity too. Protecting the defender systems, right? So I worked first as a contractor. I worked for AT&T. I worked for a few companies. Was still doing that in the military as a reservist, but I had to do some active duty time too, so I did a lot of that in the military. So one thing I did, again, having my determined idea, was using the military for my purposes. So I went in and said, look, what can y'all do for me? Like, I was like, first of all, I got the money, went to school, got my 4-year degree, used that financial assistance from the military. And then when I got my degree, I went back to them and was like, well, I got an IT degree, I can do all of these things, I got all these skills. How can you, I know there's things in the Navy that I can do with these skills, right? And there's programs and things like that. So that's why I went back to them. And then I was able to,
Going back to like the skill with your old dad, like, I got a skill in the trade, and what can you do for me?
Right.
As opposed to what can I do for you?
Right, and make it work for me. So I was able to do that, and got more training, got into more programs, doing more things with the Navy as far as doing cybersecurity. So, that helped out too. So as far as technology, so after I retired, there's a guy I used to work with, and he told me about, he got a teaching assignment at ODU, which is my alma mater. So I said, oh, that's interesting. I was like, because I don't, I was like, it's really cool to give back, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like giving a lot of money back to the school through the alumni network, right? That's what some people do. So I was like, well, this is one way I can give back, is doing the teaching, So he put me in touch with this program, and that's how I started getting into teaching cybersecurity. So I started doing that for 3 years, which is, it's a peace thing, because now, again, as you study things more, you have a better understanding, right? And it says, there's always a saying that if you really want to be good at understanding something, learn how to teach it, right? And explain it to some other people. So that helped me get even more better grasp and comprehensive understanding of cybersecurity. So anyway, I've been doing cybersecurity for 20 years. I mean, I started at my school doing it. I was fortunate to get a position there. I mean, that's good history to talk about, because it talks about perseverance, right? In my my sophomore year in college, they had like 5 positions, 5 staff positions they offered to students at the school to work on the school staff as a like a system admin, right? Supporting the school, working in the network operations center, and so I knew if I can get a position there, I get a lot of experience, instead of just sitting in the classroom and just learning everything in the classroom from a textbook, and some of that information is old. So there was a brother named Colin. He was like, yo, he worked at the place. He had a position, one of those 5 positions. There might have been like 10,000 students at that school. But anyway, I hounded him for like a year, man. I just kept being, persistent. And he finally told me after a year, he was like, look, he's like, I'm about to go over to China as an exchange student. I'm gonna go to China for a year. So he's like, I know you've been asking about if they got any positions. He's like, when I leave, I'm gonna tell the manager that you're interested in getting one of the staff positions. So he was true to his word. And I got an email from the hiring manager, this guy named Dave. And so Dave was like, yo, Colin told me about me, come in, let me, interview for a position. So as I did the interview, Dave said like this to me. He said, look, I'm looking for somebody with skills right here, and your skills is about right here after interviewing you, right? And when he said that, I was like, I probably didn't get the job, right? It just took like the wind out of me. But he said, look, I'm willing to work with you to get you from here to here if you're willing to put the work in. I said, that's all I'm asking for, is the opportunity. I appreciate it. And he gave me that shot, man. I mean, when I started working at the school, I was dealing with a lot of intrusions and break-ins at the school. So that's what also gave me a leg up, because
cyber intrusions and
people hacking into the schools, attacking the schools, denial of service attacks, taking the network down. People can't use the school network, all types of stuff. You talking about this like 99, 2000. So when I was going on job interviews, a lot of the people was like, you saying things I didn't even heard a college student even talk about. A lot of your classmates or other people from college are coming in and they're talking about other things like, that they know about from the limited knowledge from just, being in the classroom, from the textbook.
You got real world experience.
Yeah, you got real world experience. So I say all that to say that kind of gave me a good jump off point, you know what I mean? And so, again, perseverance is the key, you know what I'm saying? I went that extra mile. A lot of people, they give up at a certain point. People get in a comfort zone and they get in a little bubble and they say, I'm fine right here. I'm not going to go and try to be aggressive to do any more than I got to do right here. But I wasn't never content. So I was just, you know, going above and beyond. So I say all that to say that, you know, again, that gave me a leg up. And you're talking about, again, like 2000, right? We in 2025. So I got all that.
25 years.
25 years in doing cybersecurity, as we talk about going into history. And yeah, I seen a lot, done a lot, man, during that time. You know, you're talking about being in the military and having the opportunity to do, you know, real world cyberspace operations, because you got the authority from the U.S. government and orders from the president, right? In the military, they call them a execution order or X order. That means it's an order signed by the president that you got authorization to execute this mission, which, you know, legally you normally wouldn't be able to do it, but because it's in the confines of warfare and it might be something to, you know, protect the country or advance whatever national interests are, now you got the authority to do it. As for example, we're talking about like hacking into computers, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I got that experience. Like some people don't have that, you know what I mean? Being able to have a legit means to actually hack into other people's systems. So I've been on both sides, receiving and looking at attacks and conducting the attacks. So now when you have all of that knowledge and experience from both sides, you know what I mean? Right. You got a whole nother profound understanding about how things work as far as cyber-wise. All right, so I mean, there you go. That's a good history to start from there.
You must do your own research, as I did.
If Mecca did this.